Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 2 of November 2006. Okay, so let's move on to question number 1. So factorize this equation completely. So the first thing that I can see is I can take out 5. So take out 5, you will have x squared minus 4. Now as you know, 4 is equal to 2 squared. So you can replace that in here. You will have 5x squared minus 2 squared, which is equal to 5x minus 2, x plus 2. This will be your answer for part 1. Now for part 2, as you can see, we have the same on top. You will have this on top. And how about the base? The base is 10x squared plus 10x minus 20. So one thing I can do is I can take out 10. You will have x squared plus x minus 2, which is equal to 10 x. 2 is 2 times 1. So for us to get plus 1, we have to do plus 2 minus 1. Now on top you will have 5x minus 2, x plus 2. So these two will be cancelled. So remaining will be, this will be cancelled as well. So you will have x minus 2 over 2 times x minus 1. So this will be your answer for part 2. Now for part B, express this as a fraction in its simplest form. So we have to cross multiply because the base are different. We have to find the LCM. So the LCM will be this times this, that will be y times 3, y plus 5. Now for the top, you will have 4y plus 20 minus 3y plus 9, which is equal to y plus 29. On top, you will have y plus 29. Now if you want to, you can also expand the base, but that is up to you. But let's do it, why not? So if you expand the base, you will have y squared, so plus 5y minus 3y plus, that will be minus 15. So you will have y squared plus 2y minus 15. So your answer will be y plus 29 over y squared plus 2y minus 15. So that will be your answer for part B. Now let's move on to part C. We have to express g in terms of pi, t, and l. So make g your subject of formula. So always step by step. So first thing I can make this one subject of formula. That will become t divided by 2 pi. Then the next step will be L over G is equal to T over 2 pi square. And then you will have from this, you will have, we can first expand the brackets if you want to, we can do that. Or we can just cross multiply. So this will be this over 1 times this you will have. Let's do it here. We don't have much space, so I will do it on this side. So let's do it the easier way. Let's expand first. You will have L over G is equal to T squared over 4 pi squared. Then we can cross multiply. You will have G T squared is equal to 4 pi square L. So G is equal to 4 pi square L divided by T squared. That will be your answer for part C. Now for part 2, we have 2 points A and B, as you can see. Part 1, find the midpoint of AB. So midpoint, we have to use the formula, which is x1 plus x2. So 5 plus 13 is 18 divided by 2. That will be 9. 3 plus 9 is 12 divided by 2 will be 6. So this is your midpoint. Now part 2, find the gradient of the line AB. So gradient will be equal to y2 minus y1. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That will be 9 minus 3 divided by 13 minus 5. That will be 0.75, or you can write 3/4 for your gradient. Now for part 3, find the length of the line AB. So we have to find AB, the magnitude of AB. So first find AB. AB is given to you by OB minus this one. So 13 minus 5, that will be what? So 13 minus 5 will be 8, and 9 minus 3 will be 6. So magnitude of AB will be root of 64 plus 36, that will be 10. That is your length of line AB, 10 units. Now for part B, we have to, so we have a point C, we have a point D, you have to find the point D. So we're given DC, so we know that DC is equal to OC minus OD. From this we have OD has to equal to OC minus DC. So OC is given to you by minus 8, 5, and DC will be 4, 3, which is minus 12 and 2. So the point D will be minus 12 and 2. Now, what type of quad is ABCD? So, as we have seen, the direction of DC, so DC will be this direction. Actually, no, DC is 4, 3. So D, let's say the point D is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It will be in this direction. That's D and C. That's 4 and 3. So 4 and 3. Now, what is the direction of, let's say, AB? So we have this direction, but what is the direction of AB? So let's find out. AB has been given to you by 8, 6. So what can we do here is we can take out 2. You will see that will be 4, 3 as well, which means it has the same direction. So AB will also be in the same direction. Now, the length of different, so the length of AB is longer, so it will be larger. If you join those 2 points, what shape do you have? So these 2 will be in the same direction. This looks like a trapezium. So trapezium will be your answer for part 2. And this is your question number 2. Let's move on to question number 3. So the diagram shows the footpath PR across the park PQRS. So PQRS, this is your park, and the path will be PR. Great. Now these sides are given to us. So PQ, PR, PS has been given to us as these values. Now we have to find the angle QPR. QPR, so we have to find this angle. So how would you find this angle? So you observe you have this side, and this side. So since you know all the 3 sides of the triangle, you can find the angle by using your cosine rule. So you would say cosine of P, angle P is equal to 64 square plus 53 square minus 91 square divided by 2 times 64 times 53. Now P square, so P will be cos inverse of this value. So let's find this. 64 square plus 53 square minus 91 square divided by 2 times 64 times 53. And cos inverse of that will give you 101.7 degrees. So this is your angle QPR. 101.7. Now moving on to this one, RPS. So RPS. So we have to find this angle. So we observe we have these 2 sides, and we have this angle, and we want to find this angle. So how can we find this? So we observe. So what we can do first is we can first find this angle. Let's call this angle S, right? So we can find this angle by using your sine rule. So we have this side, and here we have this side. So let's use sine rule. So that will be sine of angle S over 53 is equal to sine of 68 over 74. S will be sine inverse of 53 sine 68 over 74. That will be inverse. That will be 41.6. So angle S is 41.6. That is angle S. Now, as you can see, we have triangle PSR. So PSR. So the sum of all the angles in the triangle is 180. So obviously this one will be the remaining angle. That will be 180 minus 68 minus 41.6. That will be 70.4. This will be your answer for part B. Now for part C, find the area of triangle PRS. So PRS will be this triangle. We can use our sine rules to have sine of the angle 70.4 times the two sides, that will be 53, and 74, that should give you your value. Half of sine 70.4 times 53 times 74. That will be 1847.37, but correct your 3 SF, you can write 1850. That will be meters square. That will be your question number 3. Let's move on to question number 4. So the diagram shows a rectangle ABCD. So we have ABCD as your rectangle. Now it says triangles ABX and BCY are equilateral. It means that all the three sides of the triangles are the same. So ABX will be where? So let's see. ABX. So this, and this are the same. This is 60, 60, and 60. Now the next one we have BXY. So BXY. No, sorry, it's BCY, not BXY. So BCY is also congruent. So this is same, same, and same. This is 60, 60, and 60. Okay, so let's move on to question part 1. Find the angle XBY. So XBY will be this angle. So if you observe, this is a rectangle, so this angle will be 90. This is equal to 60. This is 60. And what is this one? This will be the remaining angle of a circle. That will be 360 minus 60 minus 90 minus 60. That will be 150. So this one is equal to 150. Now for part B, show that triangles AXD and BXY are congruent. So what does congruent mean? It means they are the same. So there's a few methods we can prove they're the same. So let's try and see what can we prove. So I will use a different color so we can distinguish those two. So first triangle will be AXD. So AXD will be this one. So first, if you observe, this is the same as this. So this is same. This also will have to be the same. Now this is the same. So this also will have the same. And this is also 90. Right. So let's see what observations we can make from these two triangles. So we have AXD and we have BXY. Okay, so the first point we can see is that, as you can see, this side is the same as this side. So you will write AX is equal to XB. That's the first point. Second point, you will say this angle, which is XAD, is equal to this angle, XBY, which is 150 degrees. And finally, you would say this side, AD, equal to this side, which is BY. So by side S, angle S, we have shown that triangles EBX and B, C, Y are congruent. Sorry, it's I'm reading this for some reason. I have to read this one. So triangles AXD and BXY are congruent. So congruent. So by proving these 3 points, they are congruent by SAS. Now let's see what else do we have. We have to show that dxy is equal to 60. So d is here, x, y, so this has to equal to 60. So since we know that this triangle and this triangle is the same, by congruent is the same, so these two angles are the same. So let's call this angle, let this angle be theta, right? So if this is theta, this also has to be theta, right? Now what is this angle? So let's use a different color here. I'll use brown. So let's say this one is called y. Let's give it a name. Let's call this one angle beta. So we know that this angle blue is 60. So how do you find beta? You would say, since this big one is 60, beta is equal to 60 minus theta. So this is beta. Now you will have to find this angle, this big one. So this one will be beta plus this red one. So this big one will be equal to angle dxy. It is beta plus this, which is equal to 60 minus this plus this, equal to 60. That's how you show it is 60. So let's write this down in terms of angles. So first thing, we prove that these two are the same. So you write down, first point is B xy is equal to AXD. So that's why these two angles are the same. That's the first thing we need to write. And then from this, we can show this calculation. So you say this, by showing this calculation, you have this value as 60. So that will be shown as required. Now for part D, show that triangle DXY is equilateral. So first let's see, where is your triangle DXY? So DXY, this big one. So now if you observe, this is 60, this is 90. So this will be 150. So basically these three triangles, so this triangle AXD, triangle BXY, also XDY are also congruent. So these three triangles are congruent, which means that they have all the same sides. So this side is equal to, so let's write down. So we write down that triangles AXD, BXY, and triangle CDY are congruent. So since they are congruent, we have that DXY is equilateral. Okay, so that will be. So let's move on to question number 5, part A. One day the rate of exchange between pounds and dollars is this. Okay, on the same day the rate of exchange between pounds and euros is this. So part 1, Alan changed 500 pounds into dollars. Calculate how many dollars he received. So pounds to dollars is this. So 500 pounds will be 1.65 times 500. 1.65 times, that will be $825. That is part 1. Now for part 2, Brenda changed 900 euros into pounds. How many pounds did she receive? So we have to use this one. So number of pounds will be equal to 1 divided by 1.44 times 900 euros. That will be 625 pounds. Now for part D, Claire changed $792 into euros. So from this we have this rate of exchange. As you can see, if you replace pounds here, you will have $165 is equal to 144 euros. So now we have to change 720 into this one. So 792 will be 144 divided by 165 times 792 divided by 165 times 792. That will be 691.2. That will be the amount in euros that she receives. That is part 3. Now for part B, the cost of manufacturing a television was this much, 15,000. Now, part 1, it was sold to a wholesaler at a profit of 8% of the cost. Calculate the price of the wholesaler paid for the television. So 8% of profit will be, you have to add 8%. So the initial price was 100%. Now if you add 8% of the profit, that will become 108%. Now what is 108%? It will be 108 divided by 100, that is 1.08. So 1.08, that is the percentage. You have to time the cost. That will be 15,000. That will give you how much? So that will be 1620. That will be the selling price, the price he paid for this television. Now for part B, the wholesaler sold the television to a shop at a profit of 8% of the price he paid for it. The shop then sold the television to John at a profit of 8% of the price he paid for it. Calculate how much the television cost John. So pretty easy. So we have one time, which is same steps. So from this is the price he was paid by the wholesaler. Then he sold this TV to a shop at this same rate. So we have to multiply by 1.08. And then again, this shop sold to John at the same profit. So times again by the same percentage. So you'll have 1.08 square times 16,200. That will be 18,895.68. That is answer part 2. Now for part 3, calculate the percentage increase in the cost of the TV from the manufacturer till John owns it. So pretty easy. From the manufacturer, the TV was 15,000 and the price of John paid was this much. So let's find the percentage increase. Increase will be 18,895.68 minus 15,000 divided by 15,000 times 100 for the percentage. That will be 25.9712, which is 26.0%. That will be the percentage increase from the manufacturer to John. Now for part C, the shop sold a home entertainment system to Leslie for this price. The shop made a profit of 12% on the price he paid for the system. Calculate how much the shop paid for the system. So pretty easy. So this price is a price which has a 12% profit, which means this price is at 12%. Now, what is the price he paid? The paid will be, the initial cost will be 100%. So let's find that. So let's do ratio. We say 112 is equal to 46480. So we have to find the price at 100. That will be 46480 divided by 112 times 100. That will be the price. That will be 41,500 will be your answer for this part C. And that is your question number 5. Let's move on to question number 6. So solve this equation, giving your answer correct to 2 decimal place. So for this one, I don't have enough space. I will have to use, let me use this space. So 7a squared plus 12a minus 11 equal to 0. Now, for the formula is a is equal to what? That will be minus b plus minus root of b squared minus 4 times 7 times minus 11 divided by 2a will be 14. So a will be what? So 12 squared minus 4 times 7 times minus 11, that will be minus 12 plus minus root of 452 divided by 14. So the first value will be, let's do the minus value, so minus 12 minus root of 452 divided by 14. That will be minus 2.38. Or you can be, let's do the plus value, minus 12 plus root of 452 divided by 14. That will be 0.66. So these will be the two values of a, correct to 2 decimal place. Now for part B, this one is done. Now for part B, Anne drove 4 hours at an average speed of x and then 6 hours at an average speed of y. She drove a distance of this much. Now part 1, write down an equation in terms of x and y and show it simplifies to this. So let's try. So in this case, what can we do? Let's see. So we have 2 parts of the journey. The first part was 4 hours, and this will be speed. So what is the formula for speed? You would say speed is equal to distance divided by time. So let's find the distance. So for the first part, distance will be speed is x times time. That will be 4x. Now for the second part, distance is speed is y times time. That will be 6y. Now the total distance traveled will be this much, which is 4x plus 6y is 816. That will be divided by 2. You will have 2x plus 3y is equal to 408. This is shown as required. Okay. Now for part 2, Ken drove 3 hours at an average speed of x and then 5 hours at an average speed of y. He drove a total distance of this. So same way, we can write this down again. So again, speed is distance by time. So for the first part, it will be 3x plus 5y equal to 654. So the same steps we follow, we get this equation. That is equation number 2. Now for part 3, solve these 2 equations to find the value of x and y. So let's do that. So we have to solve a simultaneous equation. So let's write down the 2 equations. The first one is, the first equation will be 2x plus 3y equal to 408. And then we have 3x plus 5y equal to 654. That is 1, and this is number 2. So let's make x the subject of formula. We can do that. So you will have 2x equal to 408 minus 3y. So x become 408 minus 3y divided by 2. Now replace x in this x. You will have 3 times x, which is 408 minus 3y divided by 2 plus 5y equal to 654. Now to eliminate the 2 on the base, we have to multiply everywhere by 2. You will have 3. So 3 times 408 is what? It's 12, 24 minus 9y plus 10y equal to 654 times 2. That will be 1308. So simplify, this becomes y is equal to 1308 minus 1224. That will be 84. Now what is the value for x? X will be 408 minus 3 times y divided by 2. That will be 78. So the values of x is 78 and the value of y is 84. So x 78, y is 84. So B, the two values. And this is your question number 6. Okay, so let's move on to question number 7. So here we're given that surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. As you can see here, we only have a hemisphere. So let's write down hemisphere will be divided by 2 pi r square, because we only have half of a sphere. Now, same thing, volume will become 2 over 3 pi r cube for the volume of a hemisphere. Now, question will be, a hot water tank was made by joining a hemisphere of radius 30 to an open cylinder of radius 30 and height of 70, as you can see. Now, part 1, calculate the total surface area, including the base of the outside of the tank. So let's find the total surface area. So let's do that on this side, part A. So we have the area of the base is a circle radius 30, so let's do that. So pi r square will be 30 square, that's the first part, plus area of this curved surface of the cylinder will be 2 pi r h, h is 70, and then plus on top you will have area of the hemisphere will be 2 pi r square will be 30 square. So let's solve. Pi times 30 square plus 2 pi times 30 and times 70 plus 2 pi times 30 square. That will be 21,676.989. So you can write down correct to 3SF. You will have 21700 centimeter square for the area. Correct to 3SF. Now, question part B. The tank is full of water. Part 1. Calculate the number of liters of water in the tank. So we have to find the volume of the tank. So part B, how do you find volume of the tank? You have to first find the volume of cylinder and volume of hemisphere. So volume of cylinder will be pi r square, that will be 30, square h, that will be 70, plus volume of sphere will be, hemisphere will be 2 over 3 pi r cube. So let's find out the value. You will have pi times 30 square times 70 plus 2 over 3 times pi times 30 cube. That will be 254,469.0049. This is your value in terms of centimeter cube. Now, as you know, 1 liter is equal to 1,000 centimeter cube. So this will become, divided by 1,000, you will have, move 3 zeros, you will have 254.469. So correct to 3SF, you will have 3254 liters. That will be your answer for part B. Now moving on to part 2, it says the water drains from the tank at a rate of 3 liters per second. Calculate the time in minutes and seconds to empty the tank. So let's do this right here, part C. So the water goes away at the rate of 3 liters per second. So we only have 254 liters. So which means, so 1 second, so let's say 3 liters is 1 second. So 254 liters will be 1 divided by 3 times 254 seconds. That will be 84.666. So it keeps going down, as you can see. If you convert this to fraction, it will be 84 2 over 3. So 84, 2/3 seconds. Now let's convert this to minutes. So as you know, 60 seconds is 1 minute, so minus 60, you will have 1 minute. And seconds you will have, remaining you will have 25 seconds. Correct to the nearest second. So your answer here will be 1 minute and 25 seconds. That will be part 2. Now part 3, it says all of the water from the tank runs into a bath, which is just completely filled. So which means this volume of the bath is equal to volume of the cylinder, which is 254,469.0 centimeter cube. Now let's see what we have. So it says the bath is a prism whose cross section is a trapezium. Now the length of the parallel sides is this, and the depth is this. So let's convert this to centimeters. You will have times 100, that become 40, 60, and 30. Find the length of the bath, so find this length of the bath. So how do you find the volume of a prism? You will say area of cross section times the length. So how do you find the area of cross section? As you can see, it is the area of a trapezium. Area of trapezium is given to you by a formula, which is half times sum of both sides, that will be 60 plus 40, and times the height, which is 30, times L is supposed to give you this value, 254,669. Let's find the value of L. L will be what? So first step, we have to multiply everywhere by 2. You will have 254,669 times 2. Divide by 30. Divide by 100. That will be 169.646. So correct to 3SF, that will be 170 centimeters, which is 1.7 meters. That will be your value for the length of this bath. And this is your question number 7. Let's move on to question number 8. So the terms T1, T2, T3, T4, and T5 of a sequence are given to you as below. So T1 is 1, T2 is 1 plus 2, T3 is 1 plus 2 plus 3, T4 is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, going on, right? Now part 1, write down the next two terms, T6 and T7. So this is our sequence. So this is plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, that will be 21, and plus 7, that will be 28. That is your 6 and 7 term. Now part 2, the nth term of the inner sequence is given by this formula. Show that this formula is true for n equal to 7. So let's replace. T7 will be half times 7. 7 plus 1 will be 8. That will be 28. So 28 is equal to the 7th term, right, shown as required. Now for this one, use your formula to find T100. So let's find T100. That will be half of 100, 101. That will be 50 times 101. That will be 50, 50. That will be your value for this one. Now for this one, using your answer to part 3, find this. So this one is pretty easy. If you observe, here we have. So first, what is this one? This one usually, what does this one equal to? If you observe, T1 is 1, T2 is 1 plus 2, T3 is 1 plus 2 plus 3. So T100 will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to plus 100. Right. Now if you observe this, we have 5 plus 10 plus 15 plus 500. So what happens if you take out, let's say you factorize by 5? You'll have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 100. So this inside is exactly the same as T100. So this becomes 5 times T100. that will be 5 times this value. So 5 times 50, 50, that will be 25, 25, 0. So the answer will be 25, 25, 0. That is part 4. Now let's move on to part 5. Hence find the sum of all the whole numbers from 1 to 500 which are not multiples of 5. So first let's find the sum of 1 to 500. So 1 to 500 will be 1, so will be this, because it is 1 plus 2 plus going on until 500. So let's first find this value. That will be, using this formula, half times 500 times 501. That will be 125 to 50. Now we have two which are not multiples of 5, so we have to minus multiples of 5. So 125 to 50 minus multiples of 5 will be this sequence, which is 25, 25, 0. As you can see, this is 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3. These ones are multiples of 5. So this minus 25, 25, 0, that will be 100,000. So your answer is 100,000. That will be part 5. Now let's move on to part B. The sum of S1, so the terms S1 up to S5 are given below. Now part 2, we have to find S6 and S7. So let's write it down. Let's see what do we get. S6 will be 1 times 6 plus 2 times 5 plus 3 times 4 plus 4 times 3 plus 5 times 2 plus 6 times 1. As you can see, it repeats itself from here and here. So we can just do 6 plus 10 plus 12 times 2. That will be 56. Now for 7, the same steps. Let's find some space. So let's say S7 is equal to 1 times 7 plus 2 times 6 plus 3 times 5 plus 4 times 4 plus 5 times 3 plus 6 times 2 plus 7 times 1. So these and this are the same. So 7 plus 12 plus 15 times 2 plus 16, that will be 84. So term of S7 will be 84. Okay, so let's write it down again. So S6 is 56, S7 will be 84. Now this one, it says the nth term in this sequence is given by this formula. Show that this formula is true for n equal to 7. So Sn is equal to 1 over 6 times 7, 8, and 9. That will be 84, which is equal to S7. So this is shown as required. Now part 3, find this one. If you observe, this is 1 times 20, finishing by 20 times 1, that should be S of 20. That will be 1 over 6 times 20, 21, and 22. That will be 1540. That will be your answer for part 3. Now for part C, we have this given to us, S2 minus S1 equal to T2, S3 minus S2 equal to T3. If you see the results here is S2 minus S1, you get 2 plus 1. S3 minus S2, you get 3 plus 2 plus 1. Now, first one, by deduction, you can say S4 minus S3, you get 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. That will be 10. That will be your first value. Or you can just expand the same way. You will find the answer as well. Now for this one, Sn plus 1 minus Sn, that should give you n plus 1, that's your first, plus n plus n minus 1 plus going on until plus 1. So if you see, this is a sum of 1 until this term, that will be t of n plus 1. Because as you can see from your first part, that tn is an equation where you have to add 1, so t5 is 1 plus 2 plus 3 until 5. So same way, tn plus 1 is 1 plus until you plus this term. So that is tn plus 1, shown as required. And that will be question number 8. Okay, so let's move on to question number 9. A vertical flagpole BF, right here, stands at the top of a hill. AB is the steepest path up the hill. So AB is the steepest path up the hill. Now, N lies vertically below B, and A and B is 90. So A and B is 90. So we have these two values. Question part 1, show that BN is equal to 28.6. So we have to find this length. So if you observe, ABN is a right angle triangle, so we can use Pythagoras theorem to find BN. So basically, BN square plus 1 equal to 104 square. So BN square equal to minus 100 square, that will be 816. So BN will be root, that will be 28.6. Sorry, that is meters. So shown as required. Now part B, it is given that FAN, so FAN is equal to, this angle is 25. Now question, write down the size of the angle of depression of A from F, sorry. It should be 25 as well. But let me show you what angle we are looking for. So find the angle of depression of A from F. So from F, you go to F, you draw this line. So we have to find this angle. So this angle is equal to this angle, 25. Now part 2, calculate the height BF of the flagpole. So to find the height BF, which is this, we can first find the height FN. So let's find FN. So if you observe, we have a triangle FAN, which is a right angle triangle, and we have, let's draw this here, F, this is F, N, A, and this is 25. This is your angle, and this is, the side is 100. We're trying to find this length. So by using SOHCAHTOA, we have to use our tan. So tan of 25 is equal to Fn over 100. So Fn is equal to tan of 25. That will be 46.6. So Fn is 46.6. We know Bn is 28.6. So Fb is equal to Fn minus Bn. So 46.6 minus 28.6. That will be 18. So the height of the pole is 18 meters. Okay, so let's move on to part C. So the diagram shows three other straight paths: CB, this one, DB, this one, AB, ACD, so ACD, okay, right here. And now we have this one, so it is horizontal, and BAC, so BAC is 90, and NAC is also 90. So these two angles are 90. Great. So first question, we have, given that AC is 60, calculate the size of BCN. So BCN will be this angle. So one thing we can do is we can take the triangle out. You see BCN. So we have B and C. This is the triangle B and C. So we have to find this angle. We know this is 28.6. This is right angle. And we can find the side of CN first. So how would you find CN? So if you observe, we have triangle N, C, A. This is 90, this is N, this is A, and this is C. This is 100, and this is 60. So we have a right angle triangle. We can find this side. So CN square is equal to 60 square plus 100 square. So CN will be that will be 116.6. That will be your side of CN. So now we have this side 116.6. We have these two sides. We can find this angle. So we can use this is your adjacent, this is your opposite side. You have to use tan. Tan of angle C is equal to 28.6 over 116.6. So C will be 13.8. So this angle here is equal to 13.8. This is 13.8. Now the last question, given that BDN is equal to 10, so this is 10, calculate DBA. DBA, so we have to find this angle. So one thing we can do is, let's take out this shape. So let's say we have D, B, A, this is B, this is A, and this is D. That will be 90. Now we have to find this angle. So let's see, we can find the side of DB first, and we can also try to find, let's see, what can we find. So because we have this triangle here, we have triangle BDN. So let's take it out. BND, sorry. BND. So we know this is 10 and the height is 28.6. So we can first find the height of DB. So let's do that. How would you find DB? We can use it's a right angle triangle. We can use SOHCAHTOA. So in this case we will use, this is your hypotenuse, this is your opposite side. You have to use sine. Sine of 10 is equal to 28.6 over BD. So BD is equal to 28.6 divided by sine 10. That will be 164.7. So BD is 164.7. This is your side DB. Okay, so we know this side. And we are trying to find this angle. So let's see what else can we know. We know this side and we know this side. As you can see, AB has been given to us as 104. Right. Now to find this angle, pretty easy. We have to use SOHCAHTOA again. So we have this side, this is your adjacent side. So let's write this down. SOHCAHTOA. This is your adjacent side and this is your hypotenuse. So cos of the angle B is equal to your adjacent over your hypotenuse. So B is equal to cos inverse of this value. That will be 104 divided by 164.7. Cos inverse, that will be 50.8. So your angle DBA will be 50.8 degrees. And that will be your question number 9. Now let's move on to question number 10. Answer the whole of this question on a sheet of graph paper. Okay, so make sure you have a graph paper for this question. Variables x and y are connected by this equation. Now, first question is we have to find the value of p. Value of p is y when x equal to 6. So let's replace 6 in the equation. That will be 6 squared divided by 5 plus 5 divided by 6. That will be 8.0. Correct to one decimal place. So value of P will be 8.0. Now part B, using a scale of 2 centimeters for 1 unit on each axis, draw the x-axis from 0 to 6 and the y from 0 to 9. So let's do that. The x will be from 0 to 6. Let's use it this way. So this will be your x-axis. Okay, that will be x. And for y will be your vertical line. Okay, almost done. Okay, this is your y axis. Now it says we have to draw from 0 to 6, 2 centimeters for 1 unit. Okay, let's do that. So 2 for 1, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And for y, it has to be from 0 to 9. So same ways, we have to count 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that is your axis for your drawing. Now let's plot the points of this graph. So the first point is 152. Let's do that. So 1 is right here. No, it's 5.2, not 52. 5.2, my bad. So 1, this is 0. So 1, 5.2. That will be 5.2 will be right here. And then we have 1.5 to 3.8. So 1.5 will be here. 3.8 will be right here. Then we have 2 to 3.3. So 2 will be 3.3 right here. Then we have 3 will be 3.5. That will be right here. Then we have 4 will be 4.5. That will be. And then 5 will be 6. And then 6 will be 8. 8 will be right here. Okay, so now we have to join this curve using a smooth line. So let's join this smoothly. Okay, here we go. Okay, try your best. If you're using a pencil, it should be easier to join the curve as smoothly as possible. Okay, here you go. This is your curve for y. That is your question, part B. Now, part C, use your graph to find the values of x in the range of 1 to 6, for which this is 0. So this is your equation, x squared over 5 plus 5x. So here we have x squared over 5 plus 5x. So this is equal to y. So y minus 4 equal to 0. So y equal to 4. So we have to find the values of x where this is true. Let's find out. So y equal to 4 will be from this point. We have to draw this line, y equal to 4. As you can see, it cuts the curve at 2 points. The first point will be this one, and the second one will be this one. So that will be the two values of x. X will be 1.3 and will be 3.6. So it says find the values of x in this range for which, so x will be 1.3 and 3.6. Now for part D, by drawing a tangent, find the gradient of the curve at this point, 4, 4.5. So 4, 4.5 will be this point. So let's draw a tangent to this point. So it will be touching the curve, so let's make sure that it touches the curve correctly. It will be about this. Okay, this is your line. So we have to find a point on this side. I will choose this point, and then I will choose this point. Let me choose this point. So this point is 5.5. That will be 6.4, and this one is 2.5 and 2.5. Okay, so we can find the gradient by using your formula. So let's do this part D. M is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have 2 points, which is 2.2 and 2.5, sorry, 2.5, 2.5, and then we have 5.5 and 6.4. So 5.5 and 6.4. So let's replace and we can find your gradient. 6.4 minus 2.5 divided by 5.5 minus 2.5. That will be 1.3. This will be 1.3. Now for part E, we have on the same axis, draw this graph. So how would you draw a graph? So pretty easy. So so here we have y equal to half of x plus 3. So for example, let's say x is equal to 0, y is equal to 3. So your first point is 0, 3. Now, for example, let's say x is equal to the value of 4, y will be half times 4 is 2, that will be 5. So second point is 4, 5. So let's plot this point on the graph. You will have 0, 3 will be right here, and 4, 5 will be right here. So let's connect those two, this two graphs to see where they intersect. So we have this point going to this point. As you can see, it cuts the graph at two points. Okay, so it cuts the graph at this point and at this point. Okay, now it says to write down, the question is to write down the coordinate. So of course you have to label your curve, don't forget that, I mean your line. So y is equal to half x plus 3. You have to label your line, and you have to write down the x coordinate of the points the two graphs intersect. So the first one is right here, which is 1.5, and this one is 4.55. So this one is right here. So I think you should show them how you find your answer. You can connect it by a straight line and show them how you found your value. That should be 4.55, and here is 1.5. So your x coordinate for this one will be x equal to 1.5 or 4.55. Now for part 3, find the equation in the form of this which satisfy the values in x. So pretty easy. So the values of x is just the equation of the line and the equation of the curve. So let's do that. Part 3, the curve is given by y equal to x squared over 5 plus 5 over x, and the line is given by y equal to half x plus 3. Now, as you can see, here we have y and here we have y. We can replace in each other. You will have half x plus 3 is equal to x squared over 5 plus 5 over x. Now we can simplify this part. You will have x plus 6 over 2, and here you will have x cubed plus 25 over 5x. Next step, we have to cross multiply. You will have 5x squared plus 30x. Here you have 2x cubed plus 50. Now we can rearrange. Let's send everything to one side. You will have 2x cubed minus 5x squared minus 30x plus 50 is equal to 0. So this is the same form as this, which is 2x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus c. This is the same form as we required, so this will be your answer for part 3. And that is your question number 10. Okay, so let's move on to question 11. The diagram shows a histogram which represents the heights of pupils in a small school. So here we have your frequency density, and here you have your heights. So what is the formula for frequency density? As you know, it is FD equal to frequency divided by class width. So let's find the class width of each class. So class width will be 10, 10, 5, 5, 10, 10, and 10. This is the class width of each group. Now we have to find the frequencies. So pretty easy. Using the formula, frequency is equal to FD times class width. So for this one has been given to us. So frequency was FD is 1 times 10, that will be 10. So for this one will be FD is 3 times 10, that will be 30. So same thing for this one. FD was 4 times 5, that will be 20. So for this one it is 5, that will be 6 times 5 will be 30. So for this one was FD is 3.5 times 10, that will be 35. And this one will be 2 times 10, that will be 20. And the last one is 0.5 times 10, that will be 5. So this is your first table done. Now for part 2, hence copy and complete this cumulative frequency table that represents the distribution. So less than 130 will be 0, less than 140 will be 10. Next one, less than 150 will be 30 plus 10, that will be 40. Less than 155 will be 20 plus 40, that will be 60. So same thing, 30 plus this, that will be 90. 35 plus this, that will be 125. That will be 145, and finally that will be 150. That is done for part 2. Now for part B, using a scale of 2 cm to represent 10 cm on the h-axis for this height. Using a scale of 1 for 10 pupils on the vertical axis. So let's do that on our graph paper. So first we have to draw the x-axis for the heights. This is your h-axis. Okay, so let's do that. Label this as h for your height. And now for the vertical axis, this is for your number of pupils. So this is your cumulative frequency axis. Okay, so let's write this down as number of pupils. So you have to label your axis, which is very important, and then we have to use the scale given to us. So 2 cm for 10 from 130 till 90. Okay, so the first value here is 130. This is 140. This is 150, 160, 170, 180, and 190. Now for the vertical axis, we have from 1 for 10, that will be until 150. So that will be 1 is 10 pupils, so 1 centimeter. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that should be 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, that's a long thing to do, but yes, you can skip this part if you want to. Go straight when I have to draw the curve. So I have to label this before I begin. So that will be 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, and almost done, 150. Okay, here you go. That's it for my vertical axis. Now we can draw the points. The first point is 130, 0. So 130, 0 will be right here. Then we have 140 will be 10. Then we have 150 is 40. Then we have 155 is 60. Then we have 160 is 90. Then we have 170 is 125. So 125 will be between. Then we have 180 is 145. 190 is right here. Okay, so this is the points. Let's join them to form our cumulative frequency curve. So try your best to make this as smooth as possible, because your answers depend on your curve. So that will be my curve. Okay, that will be my curve. Now let's move on to the questions. So part C, use a graph to find part 1, the median height of the pupils. Will be half of 150. That will be your 75th value. So let's find that. So let's go to 75. It will be between 80 and 70. That will be, so according to my graph, it shows to be about 158. So my median is 158. That is according to my graph. That is centimeters. Now for part 2, the lower quartile height will be 1/4 times 150. That is 37.5 value. So let's find that. So here you have 30, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 37.5 will be about here. Between, so it will be about this value. That will give you, let's take this value, that will be about 149. So according to my graph will be 149 cm. Now for part 3, the range, so let's find the upper quartile. So times 3, 112.5. So here we have 110 and 112. Half will be right here. So let's do that. It should be on this point. So according to my curve, it shows to be about, for me it shows to be about 166.5. So 166.5. So my range is 166.5 minus 149. That should be 17.5. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. It says one of the students is chosen at random. Using the frequency table, find the chance that the student's height is bigger than 160. So let's see. This is my frequency table. Bigger than 160 will be right here. These values. So 35 plus 20 plus 5. 35 plus 20 plus 5, that will be 60. So the chance will be 60 over 150. That should give you, divided by 150, that will be 2 over 5. That is part D. And for this one, we are now choose 2 students. Calculate the chance that one has a height bigger than 170 and the other has a height at most 140. So when you say at most, it is less or equal to 140. Okay, so let's first find this one. Bigger than 170 will be, these two will be 20 plus 5, that will be 25 students. And at most will be less than 40 will be, less than 140 will be this one, which is 10. Only 10. So the chance will be 25 over 150 times 10 over 149. Now, when you see this one, so when you see this thing, when you see one and the other, make sure you times 2. That'll be 25 divided by 150 times 10 divided by 149 times 2. That should be 10 over 447. That should be your answer. So when they say one or the other, the reason why you times 2 is because, let's say we call this one A and B. Because we can choose A first and B, but also you can say, or it can be, we can choose B first and A. So we have two possibilities. That's why we times 2. So in this case, this will be your answer. And this is question number 11. So I hope that was somewhat helpful. And as always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon.